Hello, everyone, and welcome to Moving Mountains for You. This is your host, Iceleth Celadon. I go by Sachi Ice Queen on a lot of social media. Today, we do have my co-host with me, Claudia Fountain, and we're going to be talking with Tara about relationships, and I'm excited.
When to let go.
Yeah,
When
so
to let go. Yes.
I'm a realtor, publisher, and of course a podcaster. And Claudia, go ahead and reintroduce yourself and let everyone know what you do as well.
Yes, I am a mom and a servant of my community. I am a mom of two amazing children and one puppy, Woofy. And what can I say? We started these podcasts like 3 years ago. I'm honored to be part of Transcending La Familia, learning idiom and moving mountains for you. Helped a lot of people along the way, trying to, help other people to tell their story, being an author and a co-author. Love it. Taught for over 10 years. And again, just servant in my community. And I'm excited to be here. Thank you, Iceleth. Thank you so much.
Yeah, whenever we started Authors R Us, we just kind of were. I specifically was looking for someone to publish what I was writing in Spanish, and we didn't find one, and so we kind of created that. And um, Claudia, she published her book, She Se Puede. It's a bilingual book, so definitely check it out on Amazon. And I've published 4 different ones. One of those is a bilingual book, a poetry one. Tara did say she's gonna publish one soon.
Yes, you got to tell your story, Tara.
Yeah,
So proud of you. Yes, we
so
all have a story.
definitely reintroduce yourself, Tara. Tell everyone what you do, a little bit about you, your family, and yeah, just share with our audience who you are.
I would like to preface this by saying I am by no means an expert on relationships. So the whole point of me coming on here today is not to give any expert advice. It's just to share my experience. This is purely personal experience.
Disclosure. Yeah. We suck at relationships. I'm kidding.
You're going to take that however you want to. So yeah, just listen to the advice and take it for a grain of salt or just enjoy the podcast. But my name is Tara. And I actually work for a local nonprofit here in Conway. I have a daughter that is about to be 11. I'm an active member of the community. I do not have a long rep sheet like you guys do, such as publishing. I'm still working on it, and I think that's part of the reason why I'm here today, to just talk about my experience and my journey and hopefully inspire anybody that wants to listen.
Yeah, for sure. I think when it comes to relationships, I mean, yeah, I've done a relationship episode with John, and we both said on there we're not relationship coaches. We've learned things from our relationships and our past that we feel is wisdom for somebody else. And so yeah, big disclosure, none of us are relationship coaches. We're just talking about our personal history. Yes. And what it's like to date in the new age. A lot of people nowadays, they don't really know how to start dating or when to, which specifically in this episode we're gonna talk about when to let go.
So this isn't so much about dating. This is more about what happens at the end with indefinite commitments. Light on that. We've all been.
Yeah, I was married for 23 years myself, and I let go 7 years ago, and I'm so glad that I did it when I did. Sometimes I do look back and say, man, what was I afraid of? Why didn't I let go earlier? But I'm a huge believer in the higher, of course, the Lord up above. He just knows it's all in God's timing. I'm a firm believer that probably if I would have left earlier, I wouldn't have been mature enough to deal with the things that I had to deal with after the aftermath is ugly. It's horrible. It doesn't get better. After a couple of years, you will You will survive, I promise. But again, whether it's 1 year, 10 years, or 40 years, it's still painful, y'all. So it's inevitable. Nothing lasts forever, you know. And oh, can you hear me?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. So, but yeah, 7 years for me, Aislet. How long has it been since you've got a divorce?
So I got separated about I want to say a little over 3 years ago.
3 years.
And yeah, officially divorced a little over a year. But yeah, I took me 10 years, but I did, finally and I don't want to say like the whole 10 year was horrible, but
Right.
the last, I want to say out of the 10 years, for sure the last 4 years were kind of painful, very unhealthy. And so I think it probably took me that long to kind of just just kind of really feel like I could do it on my own, because I think a lot of the times once you're already in a relationship, it's kind of hard to leave because you kind of grow accustomed to that person. And so for me, that was my experience, is that I was so comfortable in that situation, even though it wasn't unhealthy. Um, I was already comfortable, and it was really hard to leave what was known and go into something that was unknown. And so I think that was probably the hardest thing for me to make that decision to leave, was that I didn't know what I was walking into. I didn't know what dating in the new world was. I didn't know what I was going to do. So I think
Right.
that was probably the hardest for me.
Right. It's exciting. A little bit. Come on.
I mean, yeah, okay, so it was a little exciting because, it's a new adventure. You kind of get a chance to kind of redefine yourself, refine yourself really. So I think it is a bittersweet moment when you do choose to leave a unsuccessful relationship.
And I think you both made some really great points. I just want to touch on those. It seems like both of you were saying either you get comfortable in the situation that you're in because you're accustomed to a certain life, or for more Claudia's sake, it almost sounded like she didn't trust herself to leave because she didn't know if she was mature enough to be able to handle it. And that's kind of the situation that's going on with me. I was married for 4 years. The last 8 months were probably the worst of it. And I think for me, I held on so long and kept fighting for it because, A, you love this person, so you don't want to just give up. And that's what it feels like, failure and giving. But I think another part of it too, the more inner part that we don't want to say out loud, is we don't know if we can trust ourselves. Sometimes we question whether or not we would have the capability to survive on our own. And it's not until we're put in that position where we have to make that choice that we realize we are much stronger than we give ourselves credit for sometimes, most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true because like I really didn't I don't feel like I at the plan in the beginning, I didn't feel like I was as strong as I am now. And I feel like through the process you kind of have to be strong because you don't have any other option. And so in the beginning I remember feeling like super like just unsure of what I was doing, but sure at the same time, because I knew that I didn't want to be in the place that I was at. And so I think when you make that decision, you have to go all in. You can't do it half, you can't do it partially. You just have to do it like ripping a band-aid. And if I didn't choose to do that, I really don't think that I would be where I am right now, which is like, yes, I'm in my early 30s, but I feel like I barely started living the way that I see it is when you're living for someone else or living what society wants you to, stay together because of the children, because of whatever. When you stop living because of how society tells you to, you're just surviving. You're not really living your life how you want, to be thriving. And I chose to go against my own religious beliefs as well. Cause like that was the hardest thing for me is my upbringing was Christian, and everyone would always just, oh, we're praying for you guys. Oh, we're praying, and so, But I think there comes a time where I noticed and I realized that I was putting in more effort than he was. And so I didn't feel like that was fair. And so I just chose to stop tolerating it. And so I was like,
Point jumping right into when is it time to let go. You just hit the nail on the head right there. Whenever one person is putting in more effort and the other person is no longer putting in effort to fight or work for this relationship, that is the time that it's time to let go. I know that there's always going to be an ebb and flow of working together, and sometimes you'll take on more of a responsibility, sometimes the other person will. But whenever one person is fighting for the relationship and the other person has just completely disengaged and just stopped, that's when it's time to let go. Wish I would have known that sooner, but I'm forgiving myself for taking so long to make that choice, because that's another thing we have to do is forgive ourselves and remind ourselves that we were doing the best that we could in those times of little crisis.
yeah, for
That's
sure.
right.
I think that's very, very important when you choose. I think for me personally, when I heard my son tell me, I don't believe my dad when he tells me that he loves me because he doesn't do anything for me. Now, mind you, my son is very, very nonverbal. Like, I'm lucky if I get 40 to 50 words out of him a day. And for him to like verbalize that to me was a big deal. And that was one of the things that, kind of pushed me over there and kind of made me more angry and more bitter towards, my ex, and um which I had to deal with. And, but I think when the people around you not only see the pain that you're in, but actually verbalize that to you and the pain that they're like that person is causing to them too, I think that's when you kind of have to open your eyes. So, what do you think, Claudia?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, if it's affecting your children's, a lot of people say, "Oh, we stay for the children." That's the worst thing you can do, because you're actually teaching them that it's okay to be mistreated, to be disrespected, to not have that value for, the relationship as a whole, and not putting God first in your life. You just got to really be careful and be aware that if we don't uh, seek and ask for help, we're so proud sometimes to ask. And to me it was like that. I really didn't think people cared. I was in a very bad relationship, domestic violence. It wasn't every day, and it wasn't the worst 23 years. But yes, I mean, it was bad when they are addicted to alcohol, and they're dealing with their own, demons. Has nothing to do with me. And it took me a long time to say, hey, I'm done trying to fix this damsel in distress. It is not my job. And in my book, you can find it. I have to shameless plug Amazon, She Se Puede. I say in my book, in order to save us, I had to leave us. I had to leave. I had to say to myself, I'm not leaving my family or my children. I'm just leaving the situation, you know? And if God wants us to be together further down the road, then so be it. But no, that's not really, I knew that that was not going to happen. So I loved myself and my children more, and I walked away. I left everything behind, and with no regrets. But yes, I was going to say, even if you always have a place in your heart for that person and love them unconditionally, when you realize that this person isn't truly right for you, you have to accept it. That acceptance is the letting go. It's understanding that you're better off without this person having immediate access to you, if at all. And from this place of acceptance, you're able to free up the attention and energy that you were giving to this person and put in towards things that actually bring you peace and joy, whether you're just experienced a breakup or just having feelings that you're about to, finally letting go of that person. It's never easy, of course. Even if it's your decision, there's still an open wound there that will take time to heal, according, to a lot of people. There's a lot of misconceptions that, oh, this life will go on, and yes, it will. But you have got to really respect yourself enough to leave and let go. So what does that mean? When a relationship has run its course, we eventually have to just say, this is it. This is a new beginning of the rest of my life. Yeah.
I think you really touched on something whenever you said you have to be enough for you. I think part of what happens in a relationship is that you try to change yourself or submit to the changes that need to be made. And one day you just wake up and you just don't even really know who you are anymore because you have changed so much, whether it be for to try and keep peace in the house or to, whatever the reason may be, you wake up and you're just like, whoa, I don't even know who I am anymore. I be like this because I can clearly remember myself being a fiercely independent person. And then by the end of the relationship, I was basing my happiness and my feelings based off of every energy and every emotion that I was feeling from my partner. And that is how I judged my own feelings. So once I realized I was no longer thinking about my well-being, and I was putting myself last and just trying to figure out this relationship and fix it and all of my was being poured into that, could not pour into myself. I had let him become the main focus in my life, and that is draining AF, especially whenever they're not pouring back. So when you choose yourself, you realize that you are already enough. You're not asking for too much. You're just not the right person for this person, or for whatever reason, you've got to make that hard decision. And if there's kids involved, like both of us, all of us actually had kids whenever we left, you have to make the best decision for them. And I knew that it was not a healthy environment to stay in towards the end. We were separated in different rooms. Mel was still, she was trying to understand kids are very resilient, but they're also very perceptive.
Right.
So, was necessary for both of us to thrive.
Wow.
Yeah, I think that's really, really important too, because like if it wasn't for my son, like, because a lot of the times in the beginning, or why it took me so long to leave, was because I would think, okay, well, it's a better life for my son to have his parents together than to be, in a broken home. But at the end of the day, he has to know what it's like to be happy. He needs to see me happy. He needs to see his dad happy. And so he needs to know what that is. And I'm so glad that I chose that, because now, I am in a different type of relationship, and I have the opportunity to show him what real love is, because by the end of it, like, it was a very loveless marriage. And, you know, Kevin deserves to know what real love is, and to see that in the people that's in his home. And so I think a lot of the times people think, oh, well, I have to stay together because it's the best thing for your kids. Not always. Like, it really isn't. I mean, if you can, if both of you are putting that effort in and trying to make your relationship better, then of course stay together. But if you don't see that your significant other is putting in the effort that you are in, then there's going to be someone out there that's going to, appreciate the time that you give them, and appreciate the love that you're trying to give them, and not, you know, um, really learn what your love language is, and really learn you. I'm so glad that I chose to leave, because I really feel
Romantic interest, it might be for kids. When you're pouring all of that energy into someone else, then you're not giving it back to yourself or your kids. Everyone in that situation suffers. And so for me, I've been able to build such a great relationship with my daughters since we've moved out, because we can now focus on each other, and we're both reciprocating that energy to each other. So when I'm talking to her, I'm pouring into her, she's back into me. We're bonding, and we're having a great time and learning about each other, learning our own boundaries, learning each other's boundaries, because you have that reciprocation in a relationship. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can be yourself. It can be kids. It oftentimes is your kid.
Oh yeah, I think it's definitely true when, especially when you're still, and I really do want to say that, like, even if you just left a relationship, don't go right into another one. Like, take some time to like heal, and like really enjoy being single and, just not have a rebound or what they call it or whatever, because I feel like that's kind of it's not really going to benefit you.
Stagnation. Yeah. Stagnating your own growth. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And you're dragging a whole other person into this, and it's like, really, like, we didn't just go through what we went through, and now you're gonna bring someone else into it without even working on yourself. Put in the work, because you owe it to yourself to figure out who you are and heal from this, so that you don't pass it on to either generational to your kids or to the next relationship that you get in.
Yeah, that balance of, I feel lonely. But what about when you were with him? Guess what? You still felt lonely, right? So
Yeah.
think about it. Yeah.
I was already doing this on my own, basically. So me leaving, really, there was really not much of a difference. I didn't realize it at the time. This comes from therapy. Thank you, therapy. But I was already doing the healing. I couldn't see it because I was in the middle of the storm, but I was already separating and healing and focusing my attention back on myself and my needs. I was no longer concerned about what he thought. It was about what do I need to do at this moment for me? And that's whenever I realized how much I had neglected myself.
Oh yeah, it's true. Like so I've lost 4 pant sizes and 2 shirt sizes, and it's been like within the last 2 years that I've kept it off. And it took me, but I forgot who I was talking to. I think it might have been Claudia.
Yay, congratulations.
Thanks. So like I was talking to Claudia, and I think it was Claudia, it might have been one of my other friends, but and telling them that in the past, like I didn't care to be overweight or that bit, or like I didn't really, because I didn't love myself. Like I didn't care about how I looked because I didn't care about myself. It didn't take me until leaving that really toxic relationship where I could spend time with myself and learn to love myself, is to now, be healthy because I want to look good and because I love myself and love my body. When before I didn't see it that way because I was so like focused in other things and not, taking that time for self-care.
Feel selfish, truly, at the beginning, whenever you are so used to being a people pleaser or the person always making the compromise, you're never putting yourself first. When you start to set those healthy boundaries at first, I feel like you're being selfish. It's like, no, my health has to come first, because my best version of me is what's best for my daughter, is what's best for me. And you have to learn how to change that perception, because you do get beat down emotionally, mentally, spiritually. By the time I left, I was sick. I mean, I literally am not surprised that my heart was broken, because my heart was broken, But whenever you put yourself first, you start taking care of your mental health, your physical health, you start learning new hobbies, jumping into things that bring you a new zest for life. And you start to realize really how much you didn't take care of yourself. It's important.
Yeah. You're pouring all the love that you had in you out to that person that did not deserve it. So we're learning how to pour that love into us and to our loved ones and to our community and our children. So yeah, good for you. Good for both of you.
Yeah, I think for me it was kind of eye-opening, because like I feel like and I'm so glad that I felt and I found that happiness within myself before I entered another relationship, because now, people always tell me, oh, I just want you to be happy. I was already happy. This person just adds to my happiness. And so I think that's how it should be. Like, I don't think you should, let one person determine if you're happy or not, because that's really unhealthy. Like, be happy with who you are, love yourself, and, and then, if you do find someone, because not everybody wants someone, like, I had a very specific list, and I intentionally made it so long because I honestly didn't want anybody. Like, I wanted to be by myself. Like, I was like so traumatized from my marriage that I was like, I'm gonna make this list as long as I can so that I never find someone, and I just want to be by myself. And, you know, and just rock it by myself. But I definitely wanted, I knew what I wanted, I knew what I didn't want. And, I think whenever you go through a traumatic relationship, you all kind of learn what you know you're not going to want to tolerate.
You learn yourself too. You learn what you're just done with. Like some of this is for the birds. I love the strength that I'm seeing come out of me about me no longer tolerating shit that I don't want to tolerate. And it doesn't matter, like, again, we're talking about a romantic relationship, but it doesn't even mean that. It means in any relationship going forward now, I know what I want and what I don't want. And
Girl, I think that's called boundaries. Yay.
boundaries that are healthy. Who would have thought? But yeah, moving forward, I have expectations. They're not just goals, they're expectations. What I will absolutely, I call them my non-negotiables. These are things that
Love that. Non-negotiable. Love it. Do you want a love story or do you want a life story? Remember I said that to you the other day, Tara? I think we were talking about that. We all have that preconception or pre-notion of the what is it? Mi príncipe azul, like we say in our country. The white and shiny armor that's going to rescue us from what? We're already happy, if you are. If you're not, hey, that means that you need to heal that child trauma. And then once you are completely blissfully happy, then you're glowing from the outside and people are like wondering, why is she so happy? I need to get some of that happiness. And be careful because you don't want them to be vampires and suck the happiness out of you.
Somebody told me that the other day. They're like, man, ever since you've been divorced, you look younger. And I'm like, it's probably because I smile more, like I'm happier, And I'm like, thanks, but I mean, it is true. Like once you kind of, like, I guess just let go of that, person that was so damaging to your life. I think you walk a little lighter, you feel a little lighter, you're just a lot happier. At least that's how it was for me.
Yeah, I think for me, it was just the energy in the room changed completely. I was creating a space that was now safe and peaceful. And I was not willing to let anyone tread on that at this point. That's one of the boundaries. Like if you are disturbing my peaceful environment that I've created for me and my daughter after all of the work that I put in, you need to go right now. And I don't even have to explain to you why. I don't owe you an explanation. I'm not going to explain it to you. You just need to go. So one of the things that I've been working on is I actually wrote down like a list of things that I want in a relationship, because whenever you get back out there someday, when I do, I'm definitely in no place where I'm ready to date or want to entertain dating. I'm calling it my dating myself phase. So
I love that. Yes. Dating myself.
Yeah.
Kudos for you. That's what it's all about. Yes.
Good.
Knowing that. Yes, I was going to say, I kind of got a little bit, I'm not going to go through all of it. This is just a little bit of, we're talking about letting go. Hey, Isleth, you want to talk a little bit about any sponsors or anything that's coming up in the next month or weeks ahead? We're going to take.
Yeah. So, like everyone knows, if you've listened to these podcast episodes before, you know that Learning Idiom is a nonprofit where we break language barriers and culture barriers by perfecting people's English and Spanish. We do a lot of online content, bilingual content. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok. We actually are about to publish our second book. It's called Transcending La Familia. It's going to be a bilingual book. And I'm super, super excited. It's going to get published in September, which is, the Hispanic Heritage Month. And so we're super excited for that. And we are going to have our annual Spanglish Parenting Summit in about 2 weeks. And so definitely excited for and grateful for all the sponsors that have already been supporting us, and also the
Shout out to Daniel Gomez, right?
Yeah, Daniel Gomez, Yari Ortiz, and Jose Escobar.
Escobar.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Connected Leaders Academy. They're amazing, and so definitely wanted to shout them out. We do all these things because we feel like me and Claudia wanted to. We didn't see enough Latinos in the world, or in our world, being more of a leader type role for other
Or
Latinos.
or or this podcast. I learned about podcasts when I went to Thrive, Make Money Matter, about 5 years ago, and I made friends with podcasters, and I'm like, I haven't a clue. Like, they were talking to me in another language, and then until I saw uh, some other friends from Northwest Arkansas locally, and then Ty King was another gentleman who did the podcast, and then Isleth, you were part of that, and I was like, yes, okay, now I understand what this is. Basically, it's talking in real time. And this is a consequence, I guess, I think, of the COVID thing. We're, indoors, hibernation, and then this is one of the, conclusions of what happens when you incubate or have hibernate, when you have too many people indoors, and they create these things. So, but I love it. I think it's amazing.
I know there's a lot of negative things we can say about what happened during COVID, but you cannot deny the amount of people's skills and creativity that started coming out. People had to survive.
I co-wrote my first book. It was very cathartic for me to finally write about my experience with domestic violence and putting it out there and not being shamed. Are you kidding? If I can save one person, I've done my job. So absolutely.
Oh yeah, our first co-author book, Helping Hands with Hope, that was created because of COVID as well. Because I saw a lot of like hopelessness with everyone, having loved ones pass away, and so I asked a couple ladies, and I was like, hey, let's write about hope, and so we um put this book together, and each of us, me and five other ladies, kind of wrote what hope means to us, or a moment in our life where we had hope, just to kind of inspire anybody who was reading it to not give up, and to find hope in those hopeless situations. And so definitely wanted to shout out City of Hope, because of everything that they do for Conway. And I told Claudia, I was like, hey, with the little academy that you guys have, it would be super cool to like publish a book of little stories of the kids who are in your academy, and just have it published. I think it would be super cool. So maybe that will be something to look forward to. But yeah, we Authors Are Us is the first bilingual publishing company here in the state of Arkansas. We publish audiobooks as well, and not just Spanish and bilingual and English books. And so definitely excited about the authors that we have coming up. Definitely wanted to let you guys know that we're planning this amazing gala for the end of the year. Yeah, we don't really do very many like in-person events. And so I was talking to Claudia, and I was like, we need to do more, in person, even though because we're a virtual vocational academy, mostly everything that we do is virtual. I have a couple interns that I've been doing videos and sending them. We have I do like summer internships, and send them some exclusive videos of I guess business stuff. And so it's a lot of fun to get to be part of this nonprofit. But I did tell her we want to do some kind of gala at the end of the year, just kind of give us a reason to dress up and have a good time. But yeah, any last words you want to say, Tara, before we get off and move on, go on with our lives?
Yes. Basically, I guess the way that this kind of breaks down is when to let go, and when you're deciding who you want to date or who you want to bring into your life. Make sure that your goals and your values align. Make sure that this person is meeting your standards. Make sure that you're connecting in the relationship on a communication level. Make sure they can meet you emotionally at the conversation table. If you're the one that's constantly pulling the emotional weight, and that person's not giving anything back, eventually there's going to be a breaking point where that person's going to either require more or they're going to be done because they don't have anything left to give. Make sure that you're writing down what you absolutely need in a relationship to thrive, and don't budge on those things. Don't compromise just because there's one or two qualities that you like in this person. If they don't meet the qualities that you're looking for, don't date them. Don't lower your standards because you're worth finding somebody that's going to meet you on all your levels. Till then, meet yourself on those levels. A lot of times we're looking for someone to love us because it's actually us reflecting the love that we want for ourselves and the pieces of us that are missing. We got to heal those first.
Yeah.
Ooh, say that again for the people in the back. Woo woo.
I can't, it came off the cuff. I don't know what I said.
That's why you guys gonna catch the replay, or watch on YouTube or listen to us on Google, on Spotify, Radio Public. We're also on a few other podcast platforms.
10 platforms. Woo woo.
Yeah, so definitely. Oh, I usually post these on Instagram as well. So if you guys are in any of those, definitely check out our episodes. We'll probably have shout out to the Arkansas Singles group on Facebook.
Yes.
We have
Arkansas Singles.
yeah, the last time I checked, we have like over 9,000 people on there already.
They want to do the speed dating.
Yeah.
To know when it was okay to call myself single. Like, I've been just trying to figure all of this out because when you leave a marriage, you're like, how long am I supposed to wait until I date? And there's really no time frame for it. None of it really matters. It just go at your own pace. But I was like, should I change my status to single? And it's just weird thing that you just don't realize you have to do until you're like doing it. But I finally did it. I finally changed my status to single.
Yay.
Love it. Yay. There's a lot of like new divorcee Suarez going on. I think Tara and you and myself, Iceland, I think we should look into the Arkansas Singles, even though that, you and I are no longer single, but still Tara, I think that we should use her raw experience right now and kind of, do some of these trailblazing things with how do you have a fulfilling dating life without having to be so emotionally, you know what I mean? Because everyone's like, oh, like you're like, it's so brutal out there. You know what I mean? So just have fun. Stop taking it so serious. It's, life is going to happen. And we came into this world alone and we're leaving this world alone. It's all about the memories and how you made someone feel at the end of the day, all mushy and gushy and all that good stuff. So, but just don't forget, we have, if you're 36 years young, you've got 36 years of experience. If you're 51 years young, then that's how many years of experience you have of life. And you got your whole life ahead of you. You already know. That's the beautiful thing about growing older, quote unquote, wiser, like a fine wine, is that you know what not to do and you know what to do now, right? So, and if you do make a mistake, just brush it off and keep going.
I don't know if I figured out exactly what I want yet. That's the time that I'm taking for myself to learn, but I definitely know what I don't want. And that's getting me closer to finding out what it is I do want.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I mean, you're in that where you can date the dad and the son. I'm kidding.
I was looking at about that. I was like,
I went there. I'm so sorry.
Everybody tells you whenever you're in like your mid 30s, you're at this weird stage in your life where you can either date someone that's 27 or you could date someone that's 57. And it really doesn't matter. it really doesn't make a difference. You're at that age where you can date someone 20 or 50 and it won't last very long, but it's such an awesome.
Yes, because men are still stinky no matter what age.
Well, in my experience, I went from 7 years older than me to 7 years younger than me. So
Saying like it just
Same.
I
Try
mean,
10 years.
age is just a number. I think if you connect in the areas that you feel is important, I don't think it's that. I mean, unless it's like, unorthodox. But I mean, I'm just saying, like, I think if you find someone that you connect with in a lot of the areas that you're supposed to connect with, then why should a number matter? So I'm very happy in my relationship, and I'm glad that I took the time to be happy by myself first. Like you said, you're dating yourself. Yeah, it was a lot of fun dating myself. And I was like, yeah, I was enjoying being, quote unquote free,
And
like,
you still can, do those things, because when you do have a new relationship, you forget about your friends sometimes because they take you know what I mean? So
I think Claudia's throwing shade at me.
I haven't seen her. She's all in love and gooey, chewy, and all that good stuff. So
I know I need to make time for my friends a little bit more. It's
extent too, because you're busy building a new foundation. So the priority is what's in front of you. And it's like, you want this relationship to work. So you're putting in the effort. Just don't get too attached to doing that and forget that there's life outside of that too. Your whole life, actually, everything that you were doing before, you want to keep doing that and growing.
it's a beautiful balance. It's balancing it all. Make time for your puppy, make time for your mom, make time for the neighbor, make time for the garden, all that good stuff.
Yeah, like my mom always tells me, because she tells me, even now that I'm in a relationship, she's like, just keep a part of your heart to yourself. Don't don't give everything away. That's what she does. And she's like, because if you give your whole heart to someone, then you don't have anything left for yourself. And so she's like, make sure you keep a little part for yourself. And so that's some wisdom from my mom.
That's
Love it. That is beautiful. That's what my mom used to say. You're like a delicate rose. You don't need all these boyfriends. The more boyfriends you have, one rose petal falls and the fragrance starts to fade. So by the time you get to the right guy, you have no petals and you have no fragrance. So you don't have to give away your heart to every guy that you meet. You gotta be selective, and find your soulmate. There is such a thing.
I used to never believe in soulmates. Like I used to think it was just, some made up thing. And I mean, I'm not saying that I believe in soulmates and I didn't, and I'm not saying that, but I do believe that there is a person that's the right person for you. And maybe if you're in that if you don't know if that's the right person or not, I definitely want to tell everyone to just pray or, look within yourself and really see um who you are, in extend into how they have treated you. Like, are you a better you because of them, or are you a worser you? Because I think that kind of, is an underlying factor. I think if that person is supposed to help you be better. And I feel like I'm a better me since I've met my significant other, and I didn't feel that while I was married.
Compliment. Yeah, someone that compliments you, someone that, works out with you or makes you eat healthier, you know what I mean, or laugh a little or
someone that challenges you. That's what it comes down to for me. Like,
for real.
Was if they don't come into your life and make it better, then they don't need to come into your life at all. And I love that advice, because if a person comes into your life, I don't know if I used to believe in soulmates. I kind of went the opposite direction y'all did. I used to believe in soulmates, and now I'm like, maybe not. Maybe because I believe your soulmate is yourself. If you're truly happy and you've done the work, you should love yourself to a point to where you're not looking to fill that with anyone else. You're looking for a partner that can help you grow and build something together. And that's what I'm learning.
I think there's a lot of truth in that. Like, I think that, some people, they don't always, I'd never thought that I would believe in love again. I was very cynical. I was like, nah, it's not for me. But definitely if you're in that phase of ready to start dating again, definitely do it. Everyone deserves to be loved the right way. Everyone deserves to be appreciated and, made to feel like the queen they are. And so,
Okay.
for sure. Any last words of wisdom, Claudia?
Always, never, ever underestimate. You listen to your gut. Energy does not reciprocate, then it's not right. Just say, for backup, if you're on a date and it's going sour, then I'll text you and say, hey, we got an emergency now. But yes, definitely love yourself more. Be selfish. 2023, 24. It's all about you. It's all about you and every audience out there listening to this. Okay, go out, date yourself, go to the movies, go shopping, get a massage, go to the spa, whatever it is. Because when you're nourishing and guarding yourself, your relationship with yourself, then you're strong enough to face the world, honey. So,
That's true.
Become untouchable.
Oh, yeah.
So, you built that up for yourself so much that nobody can come in and wreck that. It's like, oh, you don't want to be in my life? That's the door. I'm going to be just fine. This train's going to keep on rolling. Bye.
Yeah, there are 8 million people in this world. So choose. You get to choose, Wolfie agrees, right, Wolfie?
I heard him agreeing with you.
Yes. Yes, your kids will tell you that or your pet will know. So they'll know what kind of energy that other person is bringing into your life. Again, don't be easy. Don't give it up so easy. Make them work for it. All that good stuff.
No, yeah, it's definitely true. Like my mom told me I want to go pick up my son because one of my nephews was in town that doesn't live here. And so she told me that, Kevin has been talking to her more and, being more verbal. And I was like, that has a lot to do with the man that's in our life now. Because he
Absolutely.
and I think it in your pets and also in your kids, if you have a successful or a healthy relationship that your kids can look up to, they're going to grow up more stable, they're going to grow up happier, they're going to grow up, how they're supposed to. And so my mom was definitely noticing that and was, told my significant other she's like, yeah, I appreciate everything you're doing because I can tell the difference in my grandson. And so I think that the bottom line is if, when you're ready to, let go of that person that's being what you don't need in your life, I truly believe that God's going to place the person that you need in your life. And,
Just be happy, man. And Mel's even told me, she feels much happier and better since we've left. And part of it is because she sees me smiling more. She sees me happier. And yeah, there may be hard times where I think, the woulda, coulda, shoulda start rolling in, but fear is not a reason to stop. If your only reason holding you back is because you're scared, that's not a good enough reason. You need to go ahead and do it, because once you do, you're going to be so surprised at how amazing and resilient and strong you are.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, we're going to keep talking about relationships since we see the biggest need for that in all these groups. And yeah, definitely check out the other episodes that we have done about love and relationships. Me and Claudia did one about finding love after divorce. That was a really good one. Definitely check it out. But yeah, every one of these episodes is brought to you by Learning Idiom on Authors Are Us. Would definitely want to thank Tara for her time and Claudia for your time as well.
Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, anytime. You're welcome back anytime. But yeah, we do have I am going to be part of the podcast convention this here in Arkansas. The first week of September, I think is what it is.
Yep. Yep.
I'll be teaching people about interviewing skills, so I'm super excited. So shout out to Brittany and Todd and everyone that's putting all that together. It was a lot of fun last year. We had a good time. And Tara went to the last one too. It was a lot of fun. Got to see, you know, Dr. Philip Fletcher and you know, Archie Travels and all them, and Jamie Taylor. It was a lot of fun. So definitely check it out. We'll leave in the description how to contact Tara if you guys are interested in connecting with her. And yeah, hope you guys have an amazing rest of July and rest of your summer. And we'll be back with another amazing guest.
Happy birthday to me this week.
Oh yeah, that's the reason why we recorded this a little early. So definitely want to say happy early birthday. I mean, I told her happy birthday month.
Birthday month. You know me.
Yeah, the whole month is hers. So, so yeah, definitely wanted to record one with Claudia since it's her 51st birthday.
50.
That's right, honey. It's just a number.
But yeah,
thank you, Isla. Thank you so much for joining in with us today and creating this safe space for us. And yes, rock on. So proud of you. Keep going.
Yes, I'm excited for the future episodes. We have amazing guests coming up, so definitely stay tuned. So take care, everyone. God bless. Peace be with you, and always remember you have a story in you, and if you want to write it and get published, definitely let us know. But bye everyone for now.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.